You ever look at an exam question and feel like you're trying to crack a secret code? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are diving deep into question 4 from the AQA June 2023 GCSE Chemistry paper. And by the time we're done, you won't just know the answers, you'll get inside the examiner's head and see exactly how to lock in every single mark.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll decode the very first part of the question. Then, we'll connect the dots between population growth, CO2, and methane. After that, we'll look at the effects of a warmer planet, and we'll wrap up by talking about why scientists sometimes debate these big theories. Let's get into it.
Right, let's dive in. The whole of question 4 is about greenhouse gases and climate change. Now, our mission here isn't just about finding the right answers. It's about understanding why they're the right answers, according to the official mark scheme. Honestly, that's the secret to squeezing every last point out of your paper.
Okay, so the question kicks off with what seems like a really simple knowledge check. It's only a one-mark question, but these are so important for building your confidence and just making sure you've got those core facts down. So, let's take a look.
Here we go. This is word for word from the paper. Which of the following is also a greenhouse gas? And you've got 4 options: chlorine, nitrogen, oxygen, or water vapor. Have a quick think. Which box would you tick?
And the correct answer is water vapor. It's a straightforward point for the taking, but it's also an easy one to drop if you haven't memorized the basics. This is a perfect example of why knowing those key definitions is absolutely essential for hitting the top grades.
Okay, 1 mark in the bag. Easy. Now the question steps it up a notch and asks us to apply what we know. We need to explain the link between a growing world population and the rise in carbon dioxide.
So, to get the full 2 marks on this one, you need to lay out a really clear cause and effect argument. Now, what's super helpful is that the mark scheme actually gives you 2 different routes to get full credit. You really only need to nail one of them.
Let's break down these 2 paths. Path 1 is all about energy. You get 1 mark for saying more people need more energy. You get the second mark for linking that energy demand to burning more fossil fuels. Simple. Path 2 is about deforestation. You get 1 mark for saying more people need more farmland, and the second mark for connecting that need to cutting down forests. Just pick one of those, explain it clearly, and boom, both marks are yours.
Next up, the exam paper switches our focus. We're moving away from carbon dioxide and onto another major greenhouse gas, methane. You'll notice the question is structured in a very similar way, again, asking for a 2-mark explanation.
And here's the question itself. Explain why the increase in world population may have caused the increase in the concentration of methane in the atmosphere. So, just like before, we're looking for a clear 2-step logical link to bag those 2 marks.
And here's how you do it. The mark scheme gives 2 main lines of reasoning. First, you could link population growth to needing more food. That leads to more things like cattle farming or growing rice in paddy fields, which, you guessed it, produce a lot of methane. Or you could link more people to creating more waste. That waste then decomposes in landfills and releases methane. Either one of those is a perfect 2-mark answer.
Okay, so we've covered the causes. Now the question flips and asks about the consequences. This next part is a straight-up test of your recall of the specific, scientifically backed effects of global warming.
The question couldn't be more direct. Describe 2 potential effects of the increase in the mean temperature of the atmosphere at the Earth's surface. It's for 2 marks, so you need 2 distinct effects. And here's a little bonus. While you only need to give 2, the mark scheme actually allows for 5 different correct answers.
And here they are, all 5 accepted answers. You could have put melting ice, rising sea levels, flooding, extremes of weather, or loss of habitats. Any 2 from that list would have gotten you full marks. It's always a good idea to have a few of these in your back pocket, just so you have options.
Now this is just as important as knowing what to write. Pay close attention. The examiner's guidance specifically says they will not accept acid rain, global dimming, or anything about the ozone layer. These are totally separate environmental issues, and mixing them up is a really common mistake that will cost you easy marks.
All right, for the final part of question 4, we're heading into slightly trickier territory. We're looking at the nature of science itself, and why big scientific theories aren't always accepted by everyone without debate. And this is the final 1-mark question. Give 1 reason why some scientists do not accept this theory. Now, this question isn't about your personal opinion. It's testing your understanding that scientific models are complex and often have limitations.
So, what were they looking for? The mark scheme gives 3 great answers.
You could say that other factors might be causing temperature changes. You could point out that climate systems are incredibly complicated and really difficult to model perfectly. Or you could mention that the Earth naturally goes through cycles of warming and cooling. Any single one of those gets you the final mark.
And there you have it, a complete teardown of question 4. See, we haven't just learned the answers, we've learned how to think like an examiner. The real skill that sets top students apart isn't just knowing the science, it's understanding the logic behind the mark scheme. So my final question to you is, how are you going to use this way of thinking to absolutely master your next exam?